Hi, welcome back to Spirit's Business Learning Lab. I am Jennifer Crawford. I am here with
Meredith Eaton.
And this week we are talking about, again, your to-do list. And we are coming at it from the angle of this theory that I've come up with. And I think Meredith backs me up on it, that the smaller your to-do list, the larger your bank account balance. And we're going to talk a little bit about why we think that formula holds true, right, Meredith?
Yes, absolutely. And one important differentiation is just because your to-do list is short doesn't mean it doesn't have depth. It doesn't mean having like two things, right? So we're not looking at competition to see how few things, because then you could just put like really simple, dumb things on your to-do list, be like, oh, look how short mine is and where's my money? Which isn't really how it works. It's more of like big picture, sort of maybe longer ranging projects or items or things, and just fewer of them.
Yeah, and I've been inspired recently because I've been digging into this book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And it's been out for a while, but this is the first time I've really dived into it. And I don't know what took me so long, because we both are so obsessed with, how we make the most of our time. And I believe so much in investing your time as opposed to just frivolously spending it. And there's one thing in the book where he breaks down these 4 zones of function. And 2 of them I want to talk about today a little bit, which prompted this topic. One is the zone of excellence. And this is where, you're using your skills, your knowledge, your expertise. You are the expert on something or some things. And as business owners, we tend to have a lot of skills, right? Because we've had to either come to the table with them or we've learned them along the way. And then there's the zone of genius, right? Which is where our purpose and our innate talents come together so that we can work on our higher calling, our best work. And I find, and I'm guilty of this too, is that we spend a lot of time in our zone of excellence, but we can actually stagnate there, because while we're doing the things we're skilled at, we're not spending enough time in our zone of genius, which is where we unlock our full potential. And I find that whole awareness so empowering and enlightening at the same time.
Yes, exactly. And I think, we were just talking about the fact that a lot of times when we work inside our zone of excellence, it feels really good. You feel really competent. Stuff's getting done. It's often you're doing the core work of your business, and you can think that that's your zone of genius. You can believe, very honestly, that you're working in your zone of genius when you're actually working in your zone of excellence. And it's a whole process for figuring out how to move up from your zone of excellence to your zone of genius. And it's a whole separate thing. But one of the key things is how high level your work is. What does your to-do list look like? And what are the tasks on it? How functional and sort of task execution is it? And how many sort of bigger picture, unique work that you, as not just a CEO, but the CEO of your company. So that's where it gets, overlaps with the zone of excellence, because it's going to be related to the core work of your company, but not necessarily in the execution of the day-to-day tasks, but it's higher than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing they talk about in this book is just being very discerning with your time, which is, something we're all about, but discerning in the sense that, this author, he believes in living in your zone of genius. And, it is a process. And just like it's a process to delegate your day-to-day operations and fall into that role of CEO, it's a process to spend more and more time in your zone of genius, so that you're living in that space. And I think that, it's empowering because everybody has a zone of genius. Like, you cannot not have one. You have a zone of genius, maybe more than one, but you have at least one. So, it's exciting at a number of levels. I'm really into this book right now. And one of the reasons I took a deep dive is because we decided on our topic this month for our monthly lunch and earn is, turning your zone of genius into zones of profit. And I thought, well, I better dig into this topic a little more, and make sure that I'm very clear on our presentation that we're doing. So that was very helpful, and sort of, just sort of solidified, a lot of my thoughts, and with a better framework. So that was cool.
Yeah, the other interesting point as you dig into any kind of literature on zone of genius is also differentiating from your passions in your zone of genius, which again may or may not be the same. But one of the mistakes that people make is they pursue a passion, assuming that if they're passionate about it, your zone of genius will overlap with it. And that isn't always the case. Knowing what your passion is can be a signpost for a direction to go in, but it's not necessarily the thing. It's not necessarily the zone of genius. The execution of that passion may not be what your skills are or your genius.
Yeah, absolutely. Your zone of genius, it turns out, is a very complex thing. It's this compilation of factors, going back to things that have happened in your childhood that may have pointed you in a direction towards a purpose. It's your personality. It's your innate, given talents, things that you just have effortlessly, and your purpose, like all of these things coming together, form your zone of genius. So it's not something where you can just be like, oh, that's my zone of genius. It's actually, sometimes can take some deep thought and reflection in order to uncover it. So I love that point about your passion. I love that point. And I think you, Meredith, I told you earlier that when I started my first business, I was passionate about pets. That's all I knew is I loved animals. I wanted to work with animals. I loved pets. And so I started a pet care company. But it wasn't until I got well into that business that I realized that my passion for pets wasn't enough. And I actually had a purpose and a calling beyond just wanting to play with dogs and cats all day. So it's a lot of self-discovery, which I don't know about you guys, but I love self-discovery. I love unfolding the layers of myself.
Me too. And part of what I really like about it is when it makes life easier, when it makes running business easier. So I'll give another example of the sort of difference between zone of genius and zone of excellence or just a passion. So when we started Spirit, I was super passionate about our cause, right? Giving stay-at-home moms an opportunity to have work that's flexible, working with small business owners. I am intensely passionate about all of that. But my zone of genius or my passion does not extend to the nuts and bolts of the work that it takes, the amount of peopling that's required, of all the interacting with the parents and onboarding them and the clients and all of that kind of stuff. And that is one of your zones of genius, I think, is the people, the interacting, the making the matches, the being, and so if I had tried to run Spirit for myself, it would have not gone nearly as well because I realized that is not where I excel. It's not my zone of genius. I don't like it. As much as I'm committed to my passion, as strong as my passion is, as strong as my excellence is, my zone of excellence in systems and details and admin, I could not have faked my way through all the people parts that were required to make this company work. It's primarily a people company. So that's one of those where it would have been a crash and burn if you weren't there to complement.
Oh, well, thank you, Meredith. Yeah, and it's interesting. I have been thinking about this a lot, and to be honest, I don't know if that's my zone of genius or just a zone of excellence. I haven't determined yet because when I was thinking about this, I determined that my higher calling, like the thing that really like sets my soul on fire, so to speak, is helping women be successful. Because, and it means a lot to me because, growing up, rather poor, like it was, my being a business owner and entrepreneurship that led me to financial independence and freedom. And I'm so grateful for that whole entire experience and it's so empowering for me that I kind of want to, share that with other women who may be financially vulnerable or in situations that they could get out of if they had some financial independence. And I think entrepreneurship is just such a great vehicle for that. So I kind of like, that's where I landed on, is like my zone of genius, my higher calling, and Sparent is a perfect delivery system for me to live in my zone of genius every day. So
Yeah.
um,
Well, that's great. So your zone of excellence is all of the people stuff, the sales, the connections, which works nicely with our shared passion, which is helping women business owners, women in general, and sort of, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, self-discovery. I love it. So that is our business learning lab today. We try to keep them around 10 minutes because we're all very busy people. But I want to end with encouraging everyone to join us at our Lunch and Earn this Tuesday. No,
Thursday.
Thursday. Oh, the banner is wrong. I'm doing well.
No.
That's me. I said Tuesday. It's it's Thursday. This Thursday. If it's the fourth Thursday, if you're catching the recording, it's the fourth Thursday at 1 p.m. This is a knowledge share and networking event. It has a format. We do a presentation. We do a discussion. We do small group networking, and then we try to help each other with referrals, because so many businesses rely so heavily on referrals. But part of keeping that strategy working is keeping your network robust and dynamic. So we're hoping to help ourselves and you do that with this monthly Lunch and Earn. You can find the link at the bottom of the scroll here on our website, and you can register. It's free, but you just have to register on Zoom. It's virtual. What did I miss?
That's it. That you did a very good job of explaining it. And then also, I think it's not too late to sign up for today's task mapping too, which not evergreens if you're seeing this, but it's the second, or it's the fourth Tuesday of every month as well. You can get that on our workshop list as well. But today it's 2/22/22, so it's fun. That's it.
Yeah, 2/22. We'll catch you next week, same place, same time, with another hard-earned business lesson.
Yay! Bye.
Bye.